Now, though, it's time to join our colleagues for a look at the news where you are. From me and the 1 o'clock team, do have a very good afternoon.
Thanks, Ben. The headlines in the southeast today. Opponents of the £2 billion plan for a second runway at Gatwick protest outside the planning inquiry.
There is nothing positive about this new runway. It's a quick fix.
The beating heart, actually, of the business community, and it's very, very important that we can see sustainable growth there.
The weight of expectation. With 6 months to go, we meet the Kent powerlifter aiming for the Paralympics in Paris.
Just representing my country every time, there's no euphoria like it.
And this morning's fog has cleared. It's left us with cloudy grey skies and there's some rain on the way for tomorrow.
Welcome to the programme. I'm Piers Hopkirk. Campaigners fighting plans to convert the emergency runway at Gatwick Airport into a permanent second runway have held a demonstration today at the start of a 6-month planning inquiry. The airport hopes to double capacity to 78 million passengers and says it would create 14,000 jobs while bringing a £1 billion economic boost. But opponents fear it'll have a detrimental impact on the environment. Peter Whittlesey reports.
It's day 2 of the planning inquiry into the proposed expansion of Gatwick Airport, and this morning protesters were out in force, highlighting their opposition to the airport's emergency runway being upgraded to operational use.
We feel quite passionately that this is a new runway by the back door. There is nothing positive about this new runway. It's a quick fix, it's a quick win for Gatwick Airport. They don't have to jump through all the hoops that they did when it was Gatwick versus Heathrow for a new runway.
Gatwick says extending what they call the Northern Runway would create 14,000 jobs, contributing £1 billion annually to the regional economy. But today's hearing is all about giving local residents the opportunity to speak directly to the planning inspectors.
This is the 6th attempt at creating a second runway. You've got the problems of locally air pollution, noise, congestion, traffic congestion in the local roads, and internationally for the world we've got climate change.
But don't forget there are supporters too.
But most importantly, it's also the fact that across the region, we're seeing that the Gatwick Airport is increasingly a beating heart, actually, of the business community, and it's very, very important that we can see sustainable growth there, particularly as the world's busiest single runway airport.
What do we want?
This inquiry is scheduled to last 6 months. Peter Whittlesey, BBC South East Today, Crawley.
Around 700 homes in East Sussex are without water this afternoon, with supplies not expected to be back until tomorrow. A bottled water station has opened up as South East Water says customers in Alfriston, Berwick, Wilmington and Lawton are currently affected. Heavy rainfall and flooding have been blamed for causing technical problems at the water treatment works which supplies the area. RSPCA experts are caring for 15 birds covered in oil following a spill off the Sussex coast. Guillemots, razorbills and a gannet have been rescued and taken to a wildlife centre near Hastings. Once they're clean and healthy, they'll be released back into the wild. The Marine Coast Guard Agency is investigating the spill and examining water samples. Meanwhile, in East Kent, thousands of dead starfish washed up on Margate Beach are likely to have been deposited by rough seas and onshore winds, a council has said. Thanet District Council urged people to stay away from the stranded sea life, which it said may have infectious diseases. Now, it's 6 months until the opening ceremony of the Paralympic Games, and one athlete from Dartford says just being there won't be enough. Liam McGarry trains in Crayford and is currently competing in Dubai. If he maintains his current ranking, he'll qualify for Paris. A former rugby player who was paralysed while at university says he's aiming for a place on the podium. He's been speaking to our sports reporter, James Dunn.
Strength to overcome adversity is what the Paralympic Games are all about. Sport was everything to Liam McGarry when he suddenly lost the use of his legs. In the dark days that followed, he briefly thought of taking his own life. But he finds that hard to imagine as the man he is now. One of the world's best powerlifters, he's competed at the Commonwealths and is now on the road to Paris.
Just representing my country every time, there's no euphoria like it. And that was the biggest worry I had when I had my injury. I didn't feel as though I was going to get that adrenaline rush, like the euphoria that I got pre-injury, and I couldn't have been more wrong.
On course to qualify, he believes a medal is on the cards.
If someone asked me now, I'd say my injury is the worst thing that ever happened to me, because it's gave me a sense of purpose. It gave me a sense of wanting to succeed, wanting to become something, wanting to show people that if you want something enough, you can go out and get it no matter the circumstances you're in. And I feel like it's given me this beautiful gift to inspire. It's given me a gift to affect people's life in a much more positive way than I perhaps was before my injury. So, and if I could stand on a podium, then yeah, listen, not many people get to do that, and that's something that would be written in the history books forever, and something that no one could ever take away from me.
Ching.
From class clown to Paralympic athlete, it's a journey he couldn't have comprehended as a young footballer who was disruptive at school. His teachers said he was a bad influence. In Paris, he hopes to be an example for all. James Dunn, BBC South East Today, Crayford.
On to football now, and Brighton and Hove Albion are in action tonight in the 5th round of the FA Cup. They are away to Wolves, but without winger Karu Mitoma. The Japanese international has a back injury and is likely to miss the rest of the season. The match kicks off at 7:45 with live radio commentary on BBC Sussex. Now, what are the weather prospects for the rest of the day and beyond? Nina's here with the answers. Nina.
Thank you very much, Piers. Well, it's turning wet over the next 24 hours. We started off today misty, murky with some fog around. We'll keep the cloud through the afternoon. For tomorrow, it's all about weather fronts, rain moving across us. I think there may just be a little bit of rain where the cloud is quite thick through the afternoon, but for many it's dry, if a little overcast. The winds are fairly light coming up from the southwest, so temperatures will be in double figures this afternoon at 10 or 11 degrees. So you can see the rain a little hit and miss as we go through the night tonight. Not extensive, just slightly damp at times, and it does mean that with all of that cloud, those temperatures not varying a great deal as we start tomorrow morning at around about 9 degrees at the lowest. So we're watching out for weather fronts tomorrow. The first one is expected to move through during the morning, and then a second one runs into that. The rain turns heavier through the afternoon. It will eventually clear through the evening, but once again those temperatures should just about get into double figures at around 10 or 11. So that system clears on Thursday, but for Friday low pressure is sitting right across the UK. So around that we'll see some rain during the morning, showers following on behind, and as we start the weekend again low pressure in charge, an unsettled feel to our weather. There will be some brighter spells around, but also a few showers. But for the weekend, we'll also notice that change in wind direction, meaning it's starting to turn a little chillier as those temperatures fall back down into single figures. Piers.
Thanks, Nina. In South East today at 6:30. Will be serenaded by the pop opera group G4, who became household names after the first series of X Factor in 2004. Now they're releasing a new album and going on tour with dates in Chatham and Eastbourne. That's all from the Lunchtime team. Ellie Crisell will be with you at 6:30. Until then, have a good afternoon.
Your local BBC radio station wants to honour truly remarkable people by recognising